Life can be art. Life is art, as long as you treat it as such. Important things for me to remember while I do this is that this is not going to end up being perfect. Damn it, it's part of the deal. Well, kind of on like day 3 or something, given that I had a bit of a day to myself. Got the top right off. Been cleaning back the rust over here on the front of the old boy and gave it a bit of a prime. So it was a process of grinding with this, then grinding with some steel bristles, sanding with like the electric sander, a little bit of hand sanding, a layer of like this rust-like solvent that sort of turns rust back into steel as best it can, and then a coat of priming paint. So that's what this green is. It's just a primer, getting him painted and getting him all figured out just yet. But the exterior is coming together. It is quite a project, so I'm just trying to tactfully approach all the different aspects of the project so that I get them back out on the road as quickly as possible. I do as good a job as possible because I hate to do things over and over again. So it's like, the more of it I get done now, the better. But I'm just one man, one van. It's part of the deal. This is the first like car or steel object that I have tried to restore. So I'm learning as I go here, which is something I love to do. Learning on the job is the best. Fuck, this thing was like full battery just a second ago. Dead. Wonder if these things are charged or not. This thing's gonna be sick. Definitely have a lot of work to do to get this van back into shape. Still need to put a prime on this corner, sanded it back, got the top off. Still have to get this tent on, which is a big part of all of this, is still like so far off and tricky. It's a tricky thing. One man as well, doing it on your own is a mission. It's just like, I always say I wish I had a third hand or a third arm. So having 2 extra would be great. The can of worms is well and truly open, and I'm the only one who can seal it up or get to the bottom of the can. So when I first got this guy, the front like camper piece would just like wobble in the wind when I was driving down the freeway. Just go bop, 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 bop. So I had to stick it down with this like seal, which is coming back to haunt me now, but it's kept the thing quiet for the time being. I'll probably have to do it again. This project is not too dissimilar to the Unlikely Florist as a whole as a business. I never intended to start the thing. Now I find myself, you know, neck deep in clients to please and workers to manage. Even the space itself that we're sort of sitting in. I expanded the business into this space so that I could host jazz nights and share it and rent it out. It could be a great asset to the business. You got to go with faith into all these things. I will get this project done. I will utilize this space. The workers will be managed and the clients will be made happy over time. It's a long game. It's a long game perspective, and it's all a process. It's all art. Life can be art. life is art as long as you treat it as such. So that's where I'm at, just trying to stick with the process. I'm motivated to like do this because of like the fact that, you know, after I came back from New Zealand, this van has started to pit out with rust. And so I knew, I treated it the moment I got back with phosphoric acid and I turned my hands black. But it's just been something that I know I've wanted to and needed to do for a long time. And it's like, one of the sayings that I had when I started this business was, simplicity is the law of nature with man as well as flowers. And the idea that like I'm motivated to get this van back to a state that I'm proud of, that he could be proud of, and that like the business could be proud of, because I'd love to get it back on the street and be sitting in it, selling flowers, making bouquets, and spreading the good word, keeping the movement alive. I don't know, the perspective of wanting to get back to the roots of what the Unlikely Florist is about. So, gonna build some benches here. I currently have these little tables that I made a couple of years ago for jazz nights. But the idea is to get jazz nights back up and running, and then I'm gonna want these little tables for seating. If I use this wood to build some benches, then I can free up the tables. I also just love the organic and just like split edges of them. It's a good name, eh? Damn it. Untho has been around for nearly 41 years at this point, so the idea that he'll get like a bit of a new life after all this, though it's not like a foreign idea, it's kind of cool that it's now happening. But yeah, having the space to do so, having the motivation, being in the place to do it, it's a nice feeling, though a daunting and large sort of undertaking. So we let that sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, do its thing to the metal, clean it off with a bit of water, clean it up, and then spray paint it. Little by little, we will get it done. Important things for me to remember while I do this is that this is not going to end up being perfect. I think it's probably worth addressing the fact that I continuously reference Untho as a dude, as a guy. Mainstream perception is that cars are women, she's a beaut, this, that, the other, and I'm constantly referring to him as a dude. He's a dude, are you kidding? Look at him. He's beat up, he's green, he's rusted, he's a dude. This is just a couple of boys at work. Now that we've got this coat of primer on, I think it's a good opportunity to go hit some tacos over at La Fiesta Brava. See you there. There's two things that I'm most excited about once this guy's restored. One is getting back out on the street, taking the Unlikely Florist back to its roots, selling flowers and spreading the good word, making it something that's commonplace for people to enjoy flowers in their home affordably and not some extravagant expense for the rich and famous. The longest commute ever. La Fiesta Brava. The second is just getting back out on the road, taking him up into the mountains, going on hikes, going snowboarding, going fly fishing, and getting to just enjoy this epic piece of engineering made by VW out in the wilderness.